Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am Mars and this is the Starlit Library. I'm really happy to have you here, and I just want to say a happy New Year's. It has been a long time since I've sat down and posted a video. I was gone for the majority of December, and so that really messed up my kind of schedule and ability to sit down and film a video, so I'm coming to you pretty late with this end of year / new year content. But I'm excited to be back. I've missed you guys. How are you? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? I'm not gonna lie, other than going back to see my family, seasonal depression really fucking hit me hard, and still kind of feeling the dredges of that, but I'm hoping to kind of take the reins back a little bit and see where it goes, kind of like embody the energy of the new year and do something positive with it. So today I'm going to be talking about my goals. I'm going to be reviewing what my goals were, specifically my reading goals, and then talking about my new goals for 2026. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about my personal goals. So let's bust out my old reading journal from 2025. Guys, I didn't do too hot. If you've been around my channel during the beginning of the year up until June, I was working on my degree and I had to work on a thesis which was like over 60 pages long, and so I really didn't keep up with my reading journal. I really didn't do that well in terms of reading goals. This year hopefully I'm going to be a lot better about that because I don't have something as big of a looming deadline like that I have to worry about. So my main goals in terms of my reading was that I wanted to read at least 40 books, maybe 50, because last year I ended up reading 61, I believe, and so this year I'm glad that I reached both of those milestones and I ended up reading 54 books. The way that I've structured my goals is that I have them kind of like tallying the numbers of times that I reach these specific goals, and this is my daily reading tracker in case you're wondering what that is. Isn't she cute? I filled in all of the days that I read, and all of the dots is when I finished a book. So anyways, the next one is to finish more series. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, I didn't finish a single series. This year. So definitely working on that. I'm actually working on a new vlog series where I'm gonna be going specifically through all of the series that I'm reading. So I'm excited about that, and you'll be seeing the first episode pretty soon. Then my next goal was to continue series. So I did pretty well on that. I'm not sure if this is entirely up to date. I'm pretty sure it is, but I ended up continuing 7 series. So I'm happy about that. That's actually more than I thought that it was. So that's great. But on top of that, I also started quite a number of series. I think I started 14 different series this year, so there's also that. But I did also DNF series, so we were kind of making some progress somewhere. My other goals was to read within the realm of 5 classics, and I read 2. I read Parable of the Sower, which I count as a classic, and Frankenstein. So, yay me, gold star. I also really wanted to read maybe around 5 indie books. I read 1, so that's 1 more than 0, at least. I also had a goal of reading around 12 nonfiction, and I did really well within the first part of the year. I read 7 nonfictions throughout the year, and most of them were within the first half of the year, so I'm really proud about that, and there's so many more that I really want to get to this year. In terms of my channel, I wanted to get to around 300 subscribers. That did not happen, unfortunately, yet. I think mostly my schedule and my motivation to film was very variable, and I wasn't very consistent with it. Unfortunate, but it's okay. There's always still more time for that. I really wanted to read more ARCs because last year, I believe, I signed up for NetGalley and I ended up applying for ARCs and not thinking that I would really get that many, but then I got way too much, so I'm trying to actually make my way through reading those, and I read 4 this year, which is pretty good progress so far. Another goal was to get a camera and / video equipment, because previously I was just filming on my phone, but now I don't have enough storage on my phone to be able to do that anymore. So I got this camera, which was really cheap and kind of shitty quality, especially when looking at like landscapes. I can't really film landscapes with this camera, but it's doing its job of like at least, you know, this isn't that bad quality, is it? Let me know. I know it like kind of refocuses quite a bit, but I would definitely like to save up some money to get a good camera, but those bitches are expensive, so we'll see. This is doing its job so far. Another goal is to do more video projects and vlogs, and I think I kind of did achieve that goal. I'm really proud of my travel vlog. I think that was so much fun to put together, and kind of just like as a little personal diary entry in a way, a video diary, because it really showed what my summer looked like, and I really like that. I would really love to do more like that. I've genuinely always wanted to make videos like since I was a little kid, so I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. But unfortunately I kind of broke the front camera of my phone, so I like really need an alternative or to get that fixed, because I need to be able to actually film other like b-roll type of snippets and stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that, but either way I would really like to make more content like that because I think it was really fun. And I think I also did have a lot of like ideas for certain vlogs and or reading certain books for vlogs, but I didn't really get to that as much as maybe I wanted to. I did do a few, which I'm proud of, but not as much as I wanted. So definitely be on the lookout for that more this year. Another goal was to read more diverse reads, and I think I relatively did this. I actually have a tracker. I have a spreadsheet. Guys, I have a spreadsheet. My top like reads on Storygraph are always like fantasy, horror, I believe, this year, and LGBTQ+, so I'm definitely pretty good within the gaydar, you know, the within that realm of diverse reads. But let me check my spreadsheet. I'm using the spreadsheet that G from Book Roast made, and so it comes with, you know, putting together all the statistics into into pie charts and bar charts and all that fun stuff. So I had about 51% with LGBT rep, which love that. I did have disability rep in 12 of my reads at least. We have a POC author. Oh, that's unfortunate. Only about 40%, which is actually not that bad. 40% is not that bad of a POC author, so that's fun. And we have 50% written by women or non-binary authors. So pretty good. Pretty good. It was pretty 50-50. So that concludes what I wrote here for last year's goals. And let's see this year's goals. I've been putting together my new reading journal, and I only have a couple stickers on here so far. For the past couple years I've been using this type of bullet journal. Isn't she cute, first of all? Hello. Look at this wizard. I love it. I love these stickers. But this reading journal was really a letdown. Like, I did not fill it up as much as I did last year because I was really like catching up the latter half of the year, but I lost the steam, and I'm really proud of the year before's 2024's reading journal. So I'd really like to keep it up with this one, except this, I was too impatient to go out and buy the same type of journal as this. So I found this that I had stashed away, and it's just like a cheaper quality. It's still a bullet journal, but the pages are just really thin, so a lot bleeds through the pages, which is really unfortunate, but I'm still making use of it. And I looked at like buying a Hobonichi journal or those like big brands. Guys, what do you mean $65 fucking dollars? Excuse me? For a journal? Anyways, my goals this year are a lot of the same, pretty much. We have to at least read 30 up to 60 books, you know, within that realm. I'm hoping for around 50 again. I think that was pretty good momentum, but honestly, I'm hoping for more, so we'll see. I'd like to finish series, at least 5, and I think I might be able to do that this year. We'll see. I definitely like to continue the series. I put my bracket up until like 10, so you know, just as long as I tick some of those boxes off, I'll be happy. I'd like to read again within the realm of 5 classics, so I'm not a classics girly. So we'll see. There are a couple that I really am intrigued by that maybe you'll see on my 26 in 2026 list. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about that because I'm pretty open-ended and I kind of change those throughout the year depending on my interest because I think it like changes, you know, changes throughout the year. I'm not always going to want to read the same things that I wanted to read at the beginning of the year, so I kind of do leave that a bit open-ended. But regardless, the same goal of maybe reaching 5 indies, which drop your suggestions in the comments. I already have like a bunch on my radar, but if you have any that you think maybe are should be priorities, let me know. Again, kind of the same goal for nonfiction. Those I love listening through audiobook, but I do really want to be more intentional with actually like writing down the information that I learn, because I feel like a lot of the nonfiction that I've read, I kind of just forget the actual information. So I'd really like to be more intentional and like use that as a learning opportunity. I'd like to read more arcs, of course. There are a few I need to get to, and I haven't really like submitted for new ones in a long time. So unfortunately there are some that I wanted to read, but I didn't like download them in time. So that sucks. I don't know if I can like maybe find them through my library instead. This year I would definitely love to reach 300 subscribers. I think that's manageable. Right now I'm at like 200 and almost 260. So, you know, share with your family and friends. Get me to 300 if you want. And maybe 400. That's like just another box to tick if it happens. We'll see. In terms of other goals, I would love to do again more vlogs and more like creative videos instead of just the wrap-ups and TBRs. No matter how like, even though those are really fun, I would definitely like to do more themed videos that I have in mind, and maybe even creator collabs. I think that would be really fun and would definitely help with like exposure to different audiences. If you would like to collab, let me know. That'd be fun. I also really want to focus more on quality instead of quantity, as well as picking up my chunky books. I have so many on my bookshelves that I usually buy books physically that I know or have like a pretty strong sense that I'm gonna love those books, or at least like really like those books. So in terms of my book buying habits, I'm pretty good with that because I'm pretty broke, so I don't really have a lot of liberty to, you know, buy a lot of books, and I also don't have as many places to buy them from, because I don't really have big bookstores where they have a lot of English books. So I would really like to focus a lot more on my physical TBR. It's just that sometimes I hold back because I know that it takes me longer to get through those books. But again, I want to focus more on quality instead of quantity, and like having to get through these books, I just want to be able to savor them and spend my time with them, annotate, and all of that fun stuff. Because I have like 100 books around, no, more, sorry, not counting, just within my actually fantasy section, I have about 70 books, but then I have a lot more nonfiction, a few classics, and some other general fiction. So that's why I kind of put my reading goal as at least a bit lower, because I think it is going to take me a bit more time to get through these books that I'm picking up physically. So, and I feel like last year's reads were pretty mediocre. I didn't really like pick up favorites until the latter half of the year, which I don't know, it just felt very like very mediocre, and I would really like to remedy that. I would really like to actually not hesitate to pick up 5-star predictions, 5-star reads. I would like to give out more 5 stars because I maybe had like 3 last year, maybe 5, but like not that many. Sometimes my mood and or the arbitrary pressure of feeling like I had to read certain amounts of books to then like create content and like talk about it, I think maybe that did kind of hinder my enjoyment a little bit. Other than that, the only thing left to talk about is some personal goals, I guess. In fact, I made a bingo board. I made a little bingo board of things that I want to achieve. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I think the main things is that I really want to go on more adventures. First of all, get a job. I need a job. If anyone's hiring, hey. um, right now I'm pretty much just tutoring English, and that's fun, but it's not like a substantial job. So that's my main thing, because I need the money to then go on adventures, you know. Even if they're just like small things, small side quests. I really, really, really want to go camping. I've never been camping before, and I live in the beautiful mountains and next to a lot of different lakes as well. That's like one main thing that I would really like to achieve, and or a road trip. So we'll see what's in store for the new year. There's a lot of possibilities. I'd really like to exercise and work out more because I'm so stationary. I sometimes do yoga, which is nice and fun, and like stretching, but I've kind of held back because I can't really afford going to a gym, and I haven't had like proper running shoes. So I just took my older sister's shoes when I went back home. So now I have some shoes, and no more excuses. One of my other biggest focuses that I want to really hone in on this year is my art. I feel like I've really ignored it for a long time because I've been focusing on my academics, but I really want to create more like creative projects and do a lot more with my hobbies. And it's been fun because I've created a lot of crochet this year, but I really want to focus more on like my drawing and painting, and actually like produce pieces that I'm proud of and actually like finish them, because I swear to God, I haven't like finished a painting in years. I genuinely cannot remember the last time I finished like an actual painting, and I'm never done with learning, so I would love to continue working on some online courses to really strengthen different like niche subjects related to what I did study, and kind of hone in on my interests and kind of get clear about what kind of research I do want to participate in and do want to do for my own career. And so I think strengthening those like skills and the theory and all of that is going to be an ongoing process, of course, as well as making my own like personal curriculums for completely different subjects. Like there's a lot in history that I would really love to learn about, as well as possibly taking an Arabic class. I think that would be kind of scary because if you don't know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. Probably. Anyway, so I'm half Lebanese, but I never learned the language, unfortunately. Though a lot of times when I visit my family, I'm like surrounded by everyone who speaks the language and I can't. So that's really disheartening for me. And the like Lebanese is different than classical Arabic, but of course having the classical Arabic is going to give me a whole nother leg up. I can understand, I would say, a bit more than I thought, and it's just that I don't speak it. And along the same lines of language, I would really like to reach a C1 level of Italian. I'm pretty good conversationally, but I know there's still a lot of grammar that I'm not that well versed in, and so I really do need to actually like study that part, and because I haven't really studied the language, I've mostly just learned through conversation. And I'd also really like to declutter my shit, declutter my space. I have way too much shit, and I like collect a lot of things, and I just don't really get rid of things very often because I often have like a lot of these random sentimental value to things that it's really hard for me to let go of. So I would like to try my best at decluttering my space, and kind of create a new invigorating energy. I want to create the environment that I feel helps me towards my goals. You know, I really, really feel like I need to get better at creating routines because, especially since I don't have a job, I don't have as much structure in my day-to-day life that I end up getting decision paralysis all the time. How do I start my day? How do I, like, what do I need to do? And I have all of these things that, like, I would like to do that I kind of just need to put them into more of a structure so that I don't get so overwhelmed by all of these things. It's just, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to do because, especially with the executive dysfunction of ADHD, I want to do these things so badly, but then I feel so overwhelmed. And so I'd like to kind of try and find a better way to have a better routine. It's been really rough this first week of January coming back and having jet lag, and like I haven't been able to sleep until like 4 a.m. and then I'm waking up at like 2 p.m. And so I'm trying to fix that a bit more and trying to understand like what my goals are for each month and how I always say that I want to achieve this thing, but I'm not actually putting in the time and the effort to do that and get there because I feel so overwhelmed all the time. And so I'd really like to get better in that sense of planning things in a way that I break them down and just like do it, which is much harder than it sounds, for me at least. So I'm trying and I will keep trying and hope for the best, you know. I really hope to achieve things. Oh, and other than that, I would really like to try and keep a commonplace journal. Usually with my like personal journal, I have just written like everything under the sun, and I have like some junk journal shit in here that I've like pasted, but I feel like I need a better journaling system. I've always had like a separate reading journal, but I also really want to like separate like junk journaling with commonplace journaling with also like my academics and like learning journals. So I'm trying to figure that out. It's a bit tricky because I don't necessarily have the type of journal that I would have wanted for that specifically. I have this that has like rings, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but also I am because then you can like change around the order of the pages. But we'll see. I've started having some entries in my commonplace journal where I'm just like noting down things that I learn about or hear about, because I would really like, I think my main words for the year to really set the energy for the year is intention and mindfulness. And like, yeah, those are words that are like you constantly hear and it kind of sounds like therapy speak in a sense nowadays, but like there's so much truth in it because of being mindful of my own habits in terms of especially like scrolling on social media. I've done pretty well in terms of installing an app blocker, so during certain times in the day I'm not allowed to go on my social media. And that's been very helpful for me. It's just that also when I do go on those apps, I would like to be a lot more intentional because I do often find myself like scrolling through things that I'm learning about. I mostly have creators showing like DIY projects and like journal prompts and like artsy things, as well as like talking about random historical events. So I would really like to, instead of just like screenshotting or saving them for later, I want to actually like write them down so that I can reference back to them and actually feel like I'm learning something from them, and or like keeping a log of certain these like DIY projects that I can do, or at least like noting down the creators that have made them, and be a lot more like intentional with those things, as well as kind of using that as inspiration for what I can do in my time without screens. So I'm excited about that. I think like I really I'm so bad at consistency, but this year, especially with a lot more of the freedom that I have in terms of my time, I'd really like to make the most use of it. Like I always feel like time is just running away and I don't have enough of it, and I'm like not getting done as much in the day as I would like to. But then it comes back to just being intentional about everything. So that kind of like creates a bit more optimism in my outlook for the year, and hopefully can help set up habits for continuing on like that throughout the years. So that's that. Those are my reading goals, as well as a bit more of a yap about my personal goals. I hope that maybe this did inspire you for some things. And let me know what your goals are, whether they're reading or personal or whatever. Just talk to me in the comments. I hope you've had a very good new year, and that you also have a pretty optimistic look on the new year, even though it's just like time is irrelevant and it'll just keep going. I hope you have the most amazing day, and if you like this video, give it a like, and if you would like to stick around, see how I'm doing on those goals over the year, you can subscribe. If you have any like ideas for videos that you might want to see from me in the future, let me know in the comments, or if you want to do some sort of collaboration, I would be very excited to do that, and hopefully I can get a bit more on track with my uploading schedule as well. So have an amazing day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.